What's going on, everybody? Welcome to DContructingTopic podcast. Let's go. Woo, woo. Let's make it happen. Bringing you another episode, another good one, another jam, another kind of like this one. It's gonna hit too because today we kind of, how can I say, we are taking time to remember the late Kobe Bryant, the great NBA basketball player that played for the Los Angeles Lakers for 20 years and tragically was lost on January 26, 2020. Yeah, for those, excuse me, but for those remember that 2020, I mean, 2020 we already know with the COVID and all that stuff, the situation with George Floyd, unfortunately. You kind of like when January 26 happened, and when I find out, I remember one of my brothers in arms hitting me up in the morning. Well, probably like 12 p.m., 12:30 p.m. Eastern time, when he tragically passed away at nine and some change. It was him and seven others, including his daughter, if I'm not mistaken, seven others, the pilot, and other family or friends that he had, and once again, including his daughter, which very sad as well. It was a tough day. I mean, I think when my brother-in-law hit me up and Kobe Bryant passed away, and again, this is a legendary icon in sports. You could say he's for those who enjoy the basketball, the NBA. He's kind of Michael Jordan for our time. When I say our time, we're talking about after 2000. Once Kobe Bryant, he started playing in the late 90s, if I'm not mistaken. But Kobe Bryant was as close as we could say that was in a way Kobe Bryant, even though I think, two different players. But Kobe Bryant was a great player. And that day, when he tragically passed away that day, he already stopped playing in the NBA. He's been retired for a few years. And for those individuals, because Kobe Bryant was like this basketball player that just really, he had his mental, he had what they call the black mama mentality. Ooh, and I think that's like a mentality where sometimes you ask yourself, for those people who believe that they are successful, for those people who believe, hey, wow, I got it good, you're going to ask yourself that question. Do you really? I mean, do you know what having success and being successful at success? That's Kobe in a nutshell. And he always challenged other players, people with his teammate. That's why he was adored. That's why he was hated. A lot of times hated for, he just had this passion for the sport of basketball and becoming the best. Not just for himself, but for others. So one of the things that I've had with Kobe was that, seeing interviews and seeing this other personality of how he was off the basketball court. It was just how his mindset on how he approached certain things, and he had this the top 10 rules of becoming a better person of life or something to that effect. Now, if I go to the top 10 list, I think we'll be forever having a podcast forever. So we're gonna get into two of Kobe Bryant's 10 and 9 part of life and how it applies to us. Number 10, one of the things and interesting thing that Kobe Bryant believed was storytelling. And my understanding is that he had a company, and he had a company where they were working to create books and movies and TV shows, because Kobe Bryant believed so much in storytelling, and that resonates with me, because I remember one time, a long time ago, when I was with one of my little brothers in arms at that time, back then, early 20s. This was a while back. I remember he was showing a lot of anger. I remember he was in my house, and I think he managed to punch the wall and make a hole in my wall. And I'm like, yo, what's up, my man? What's going on? And he was telling me his story. And keep in mind, everybody's story is different. And you take everything different. And I'm like, okay, I get it. For some reason, as we are just talking, I started to kind of tell my story. Hey, listen, I was living in a shelter system. I was staying in the street for a while, and then so on and so forth. And he looked at me out of nowhere. His expressions just changed. Like, what? And it was like that realization where he told me, damn, like, I thought I got it bad. But, it seems that you have it bad. And I said to myself, well, there's other people that have it bad. So what does that say? Just on that strength of me telling my story, it kind of changed the perception. And I believe he have become a better person after that. Has become a father, a wonderful father, a husband, whatever the case might be. And one of the things that, we tell people, and I come across people, and sometimes, I know that some people don't want to share, like, what their stories or what their experiences or what their life is. But sometimes you could change a person's life. And we learn. And sometimes we tend to sometimes judge people because they're too quiet or they're too this and they're too that. And maybe there's a story behind. And one of the things that Kobe Bryant and what resonated with me is that if we are in this atmosphere, whether you feel comfortable, whether you with your friends, whoever, people that you might not like, just open up and tell them a story. Perhaps you could tell them a story of what made you the person you are. Oh, look at this person. This person doesn't talk that much. They always got that mean face, and they approachable. We don't know what that person went through. You feel me? But I'll guarantee if that person starts to talk, and engage on storytell about their life, then you'll change my life. And that's one of the things that I want people. I have a endearing sister in arms of mine that I think she has a great personality. I think that there's something about her naturally where a lot of people gravitate to this person. And I said to, I've been kind of like telling her, hey, listen, have you thought about doing like the YouTube content? And she's like, yeah. And with all due respect, and she said, just her personality is like, hey. But I told her, like, listen, I'm getting, like, example, at this time that I'm doing the content, doing the podcast, I'm on my 40s, early 40s. Hey, never too late for anything. That's basically my mindset with her. Yeah, just because you're a bit older than me doesn't mean anything. It's never too late, but I'll guarantee you, if you start to tell those wonderful stories about you and all that, I'm telling you, you could save a life. You could save hundreds of lives. And that's the beautiful thing about when you go out there and to tell the story of your life, of things that you experiences. There are those that are going to say, wow, I thought I had it bad. And I've been told that a lot of times. So with Kobe and that mindset, it's like, wow. And to hear his interviews and he just telling stories about this and that and this and that. It's funny because for those people that might have, felt like an ill will towards him or have felt, Kobe, he's a show off, he's greedy, whatever the case might be. After he stopped, it's funny how life is because after he stopped playing basketball, more people, as he's doing the interviews, more people started to like Kobe. In a personal level, like, wait a minute. But then you attach his personal level into, now you understand why he was when he was a player. Yeah, did he take thousands of shots and did he do this and he do that and did he sometimes not pass the ball? Sure, you can make that argument all day you want. But you understood. He had this drive to be better. And that's why he always felt more comfortable having the ball in his hand than anybody. And that's what's going to lead me to number 9. Believe in your team. Now, you might say, okay, I don't play sports. I don't, can't relate to sports. Okay, let's go with the next step. Your work, your family, your friends. Remember, when we say trust your team, again, his mindset, he said it because that word is so universal. That team could be anything. Could be your family. That's a team. Could be your friends. That's a team. Look, when you go to work, let's say if you work for a corporate company, when they have these little workshops or whatever, they put you in different teams of a smaller group so you could discuss on how to make things better at the workplace. And one of the things at work, and I love what I do, I love the team that I'm surrounded with because they make me who I am. They keep me sane. So shout out to my work family out there. Love you guys. But you have to trust your team. You have to say it to yourself, like, you wake up the next day. And because you build that team, you love that team, whatever the case might be. Remember, it's like I tell people. In terms of sports, remember, your livelihood depends on your team. Sports. Let's say now in this day and age where those people that love playing video games, they got these what they call esports, where you compete with other people. You have to kind of wake up one day and you say, okay, I'm not feeling good. Maybe I'm going through a lot. But think about it. You're going to go that next day, and there you go. You're going to say good morning, good afternoon to that person that's part of your team. And then you have to believe, hey, my friend, my family, I'm not doing good. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in my family. I just heard some bad news. I'm going to give it my all, but, there's a lot. When you trust in your team, that teammate's going to say, don't worry, I got you. And that's what you want to surround yourself with in terms of when it comes to family as well. Sometimes I say to myself, and this is going to sound a little controversial, but there's a lot of people that agree with me. Or let's just say, I take it back. There's people that might feel the same way. All right? But I say me because I have this discussion. Sometimes family are probably one of the worst things that drag us down, unfortunately. Sadly, but that's the truth. Historically, if you look at businesses and you look at relationships, if you look at a lot of things, there's no one that could say, well, he's my brother, he's my sister, my mother, guarantee that those are the people I could trust the most. Not all the time. And a lot of times is that when you wake up in this team, sometimes you want to let's say if you have a family that they're not connected, maybe one way to approach them, it's, you know what, as a family, all right, we don't get along, whatever it is, we're not that tight, but let's be a team, let's do something, because there's a lot of times, and once again, I bring sports in, there's going to be a lot of teams out there that are going to win championship, whether it's in baseball, football. If you are a big aficionado of soccer, aka football, the FIFA, the countries, Argentina won the last World Cup. Was it last year? Was it 2 years ago? Whatever it is, yeah, last year because it was delayed, something like that. Whenever it was, 2 years ago. If you're a big fan, I'm just saying, even if you don't get along, you have to think of things that, let's make a team, let's make each other better. And that's one of the things that Kobe Bryant, one of his philosophies, like, hey, we're not going to get along. And that has happened in his career. But we need to be, in order for us to focus, to be number one, to win that championship, that World Cup, that Super Bowl. Whatever you want to win in life, you have to, anytime that you with a team, you have to find and believe in your team. Trust your team, regardless of the differences. So when you out there and you go to the world, whatever your position is, whatever it is, if you are someone who's have their own business or whatever the case might be, and you're still going to rely on somebody, on something. I mean, it's very rare when we are in a situation when we just on our own, to be honest. For the most part, for those people who are listening to this, are in a situation that you're surrounded by people. But you're surrounded by a team. So those were the two things that, again, I'm going to do other podcasts. I'm going to break down these top 10 because, hey, listen, even these two conversations, and I'm trying to squeeze these two kind of rules here in a small kind of less than 20-minute segment because I want people to enjoy themselves. I want people to, maybe throw in this little morning drive. Maybe it takes you 15, 18 minutes to get to work. Hey, why not? Why not? Like I tell people, you don't need to listen to the news. Unfortunately, there's a lot of sad things out there happening in this world, and you know, we'll be touching that on other topics, other podcasts, because that's what this podcast is all about. We are deconstructing. Oof, getting tongue twisted. Different topics. And I hope that you enjoy this. And, write down those 2 rules. Right there. Boom. I'll put a little link to the description. Once again, I sometimes, when I'm thinking so much of a goodness, I forget to hit the like button on whatever platform. I'm on Apple, YouTube, Spotify, Google. Hit the comment, because we do enjoy little comments. Hey, listen, I'll do my best to make sure that I reply. Please share your story. If you want to reach out to me, all my information is in my description. Feel free to share, like always, and I want people to share. Because I'll guarantee you ain't going to let nobody down when you share my information, because saving a mind is saving a life. With that said, once again, rule number 10. Don't forget about that. It's one of those things where we're going to say to ourselves, rule number 10, learn storytelling. And rule number 9, believe in your team. Let's make it happen, and I'm out of here. Much love to my deconstructing family. I'm out of here. Peace.